Hi guys! Today I'm going to talk to you about Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Haig, a book about anxiety, agoraphobia, depression, and much, much more. The first chapter is called This Book is Impossible. One of the key symptoms of depression is to see no hope and no future. So the fact that this book exists is proof that depression lies. Depression makes you think that things are wrong. But depression itself isn't a lie. It is the most real thing I've ever experienced. Of course, it is invisible. To other people, it sometimes seems like nothing at all. You are walking around with your head on fire and no one can see the flames. And so, as depression is largely unseen and mysterious, it is easy for stigma to survive. Stigma is particularly cruel for depressives because stigma affects thoughts, and depression is a disease of thoughts. When you are depressed, you feel alone and that no one is going through quite what you are going through. You are so scared of appearing in any way mad, you internalize everything, and you are so scared that people will alienate you further, you clam up and you don't speak about it, which is a shame, as speaking about it helps. Words, spoken or written, are what connects us to the world, and so speaking about it to people and writing about this stuff helps us to connect each other to our true selves. A note before we get fully underway. Minds are unique. They go wrong in unique ways. Our experience overlaps with other people's, but is never exactly the same experience. Umbrella labels like depression and anxiety and panic disorder and OCD are useful, but only if we appreciate that people do not have all the same precise experience of such things. Depression looks different to everyone. Pain is felt in different ways, to different degrees, and provokes different responses. There is no right or wrong way to have depression, or to have a panic attack, or to feel suicidal. These things just are. Killer. Suicide is now a leading cause of death. According to figures from the World Organization, it kills more people than stomach cancer, colon cancer, breast cancer, and Alzheimer's. Depression is one of the deadliest diseases on the planet. It kills more people than other forms of violence. Depression is a disease so bad that people are killing themselves because of it in a way they do not kill themselves with any other illness. I've highlighted a few titles that I really like because they made me laugh, or they made me cry, or they made me think about something that I do or that I feel sometimes, and it did help me to read it. So I'm not going to spoil that for you, but I will tell you the different chapters that I really enjoyed. So one of them was things people do to depressives that they don't say in other life-threatening situations. Other ones was why depression is hard to understand, a beautiful view, things depression says to you, warning signs, what you think during your first panic attack, what you think during your 1000th panic attack, can't really say that word very well, and reasons to stay alive, which was very good, and love, because I feel the same way as he does in that chapter. It's gonna be a long video. Hi YouTube, it's Megan here. Hi YouTube. There is an analogy in this book, but it only takes a doubt. A drop of ink falls into a clear glass of water and clouds the whole thing. And isn't that funny? Because that's how we feel sometimes. Everything's going great and one little tiny thing just spoils it all. Ruins the whole thing. And we spiral. And we just go all the way down from there. Just a thought that I liked. My symptoms. Very important chapter. Depression and anxiety aren't always just depression and anxiety. There's a lot of intertwining that happens. There's a lot of domino effects. Many of the greatest and toughest people of all time have suffered from depression. Politicians, astronauts, poets, painters, philosophers, scientists, mathematicians, a hell of a lot of mathematicians, actors, boxers, peace activists, war leaders, and a billion other people fighting their own battles. You are no less or more of a man or woman or a human for having depression than you would be for having cancer or cardiovascular disease or a car accident. That made me feel really good when I read that, and I hope it feels really good for you guys. You are no less a man or a woman or a human for having depression. So this is just an example of how funny Matt Haig can be. All we can do for the moment is really all we need to do. Listen to ourselves. When we are trying to get better, the only truth that matters is what works for us. If something works, we don't necessarily care why. If pills work for you, keep taking them. Hell, if licking wallpaper helps, do that. A lot of people, including myself, don't know that there are so many people around us, famous, not famous, rich, poor, who have depression and anxiety. There's a chapter in this book called Famous People. And there are so many people in there that I know. I've heard of them. I've seen them on TV shows, etc. But I had no idea that they were battling this in real life. Now, I don't pay attention to the magazines or anything anyways, so I wouldn't have known, but it might have been very obvious information. However, I am ignorant in some of this stuff. So, Halle Berry, Jim Carrey, Winston Churchill, Wolfgang Mozart, Isaac Newton, Abraham Lincoln, Stephen King, Angelina Jolie, Billy Joel, Anne Hathaway, Judy Garland, Ben Stiller, Irma Thurman, Robbie Williams. And speaking of Robbie Williams, we know that Robin Williams unfortunately passed away via suicide. That reminds us that depression is also smaller than you. Always, it is smaller than you. Even when it feels vast, it operates within you. You do not operate within it. It may be a cloud passing across the sky. But if that is a metaphor, you are the sky. You were there before it, and the cloud can't exist without the sky. But the sky can exist without the cloud. And that makes you feel so positive, and it makes you feel so motivated and full of life. There is a chapter in this book called Reasons to Stay Alive. And that chapter is where Matt Haig has included many quotes from many people on social media of their reasons to stay alive. And one of them is from A1 Red Boots. The hole you'd leave is bigger than the pain you suffer by being. For some reason that one took to me. So, with concluding this video about this book, Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Haig, I want to know what your reasons to stay alive is. My reasons to stay alive is to see the future. I love my life, and it took so long to get here where I am. So much mental draining, so many horrible relationships, so many not so fun jobs. But it was so worth it. I love my life, and I don't want to leave. My reasons to stay alive because my family, my friends, my boyfriend, I love my life. And there were so many times in my life that I hated my life. And I never thought it could get here. And now that it's here, now that I have the person that I know is my person, the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, the person I'm going to have kids with, I am in a great spot with my family and my friends, and I know what I want to do now. I don't want to leave that world. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that you guys read this book. It helped my life so much, and I'm really grateful that my doctor told me to read this book. I'm very glad that I got the opportunity to speak about this book, and I hope that it does take to you guys as well. I hope that you guys read this book, and I hope it helps.